up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It's your boy MM2K back again with another episode of Stadia Live Session. Glad to be back. Glad to be back with y'all. Let's get it together. We already got somebody in the chat, homie. It's Rizzed. He says, "What can MM? What up, MM? Can't wait for the show. I love the interview you and Project had. It was a great episode. Keep up the great work." Hey, man, thank you so much. We got the homie Squid in the house. Squid in the house. What's up? Work time, but have a great show, sir. Thank you so much. It's Ratista. I know I butchered that, bro. Help me out here. I know I butchered that. I want to butcher that. Thank you so much for the wonderful comment. Do us a huge favor. Let everybody know that we are live. So tweet this out. Let everybody know. You know how we do. We're going to put this in the Discords and the Miscords and everywhere and let everybody know that we are live right now. I'm trying to do something here on YouTube. Okay. Trying to put up our usual pin. Like this. Now, I know I've been out of commission yesterday. I only did one video. Normally, I would do a Stadia Live session in a video, but I wasn't feeling too good. Hold on one second. Visit. I should always have this. This is where I'm unprepared. HTTPS PNTS network.com. All right. And I should work. I should always have that link available so I can just copy and paste it. But now we got a pin. So if you want more great content like this, go to pntsnetwork.com and you can get all of our content from all of our contributors. But thank you guys so much for the wonderful comments. I appreciate all of y'all. Let's see here. What else can we do here? I also got, oops, I don't want to put that up there. Nope. Y'all didn't see that. Y'all seeing everything today. Ooh, don't miss. Okay, here it goes. Join us live today. Here, let's do it like this because we're already past the time. Join us live today. And now we're going to open up Discord as the chat fills up. Now that we got that, let's see here. I got things all over the place right now. I'm kind of in a discombobulated mess. But if y'all could do me a huge favor again, let everybody know that we are live. Let me see here. All right. Where's Discord? Crazy. Okay, there we go. You got Discord. Right on top of there. Don't switch. All right, now we can start tweeting people out and letting people know that we're live. First, let's start here. Then we can start here. And then we will finish here. And now we've done everything we needed to do in the Discord. Right. We make this a little bit bigger. This is why I can't see, damn it. Because this thing is so damn small. We got Squid in the house. We got Charles Duran in the house. We got Jonathan Davila in the house. This is yo. Shot G, hit that like button. Let me tell you something. That's right, man. Let them know. Everybody tweet this loud out. Let the world know that we are here. All right. So I don't have a whole bunch of time because y'all know the deal. I got to go pick up my wife and do what I got to do. However, what I did want to talk about were two poignant things. Happy Cloud Gamer in the house. What's going on, my good friend? Good to see you. Two poignant things that are really sparking up a lot of good conversation. Why does it stay 3/1/2020? That's probably why. The hell is going on here? All right. Got to fix that. We'll do this live on air. There we go. It's looking a little crazy right now. I know. My homie Victor Del Maestro in the house. I know I kind of pulled this out of thin air. I was supposed to do this at 11:30, but I don't know what's going on, y'all. I'm not feeling too good, man. I made a crap load of content though. I'm not feeling too good. Where can you believe it or not? MM2K don't feel like talking. But I'm fine to sit up and play some games. I was feeling a little lightheaded. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I don't know what it was. But I'm feeling better now. I was feeling sick over the weekend. I was fine for the interview with our good friend John Scar. Yeah, let me touch on that a little bit as we're waiting for the room to fill up. And again, tweet this out, let everybody know that we are live. Let me do this. Hold on 1 second. Stuff is discombobulated. I need to fix this big time. All right, so we're going to tweet this out. We're going to let everybody know that we're live. We are live. Oh, well, that doesn't help. Gee. All right. There we go. Now let's try this again. Tweet. We are live with a new XLS featuring MM2K. Join the discussion. Join the open mic discussion. Okay. We can get open to what is going on here. Stop it. All full of mess today. Okay, there we go. We're going to put the little mic insignia. There we go. A little bit of fire there too. And boom. Let me talk about that interview real quick. The interview that we did with John Scar, and shout out to Kessel Runner too. Good to see you too, my friend. Thank you very much for coming through. The interview that we did with John Scar Saturday, was a fantastic interview. I can't say so enough because John Scar is, to me, the epitome of two very important things that we as a young community, as a young cloud gaming community and as a Stadia community, really need to, I think, get guidance from. You know what I'm saying? As we try to navigate through this new built community and try to figure out what's the best way to handle things that I'm going to talk about today. First and foremost, John Scar is a gamer with a capital G. Okay, what do I mean by that? The guy loves and plays everything. And I understand why he loves and he plays everything. He comes from my era. And again, I'm not trying to make it seem like that you had to be a gamer in the 80s in order to best appreciate gaming. But I find that those that do most appreciate gaming are those that come from that era, because we've seen it, again, from its infancy to where it's at now. And when you get to see it being born pretty much, or pretty much around its roots all the way to where it's at now, the important things, the things that the guiding factors of said culture. You understand how you got from point A to point Z. You understand all that stuff, so you have a better appreciation of things. Like, for instance, y'all don't appreciate gaming running into a bubble as some of us have suggested. We said that if the innovation and the creativity doesn't become more paramount than just graphics and polygons, then we're hitting into a bad place in gaming, and you might see another bubble. Well, I get gaming is making a lot of money, but at some point in time, it's people are going to be like, okay, well, what more can you provide? And you're going to see the bubble that you saw back in the Atari days, where people just give it up. You know what I'm saying? And they give it up in large swaths. And a lot of that is, again, because the focus is on pixigons and polygons and compute units and all that other stuff, and not on the things that are important to average gamers more and more now. One of which is provided via cloud gaming, which is convenience. I've met so many people doing this who said, MM2K, I stopped gaming. I did it as an infrequent thing, maybe once a week here and there. But Stadia helped me get back into gaming. And I dropped a poll earlier this week. We're going to talk about it later on in the week. But by all intents and purposes, vis-a-vis that poll, Stadia has been the gateway drug for you all to even consider not only gaming again, but getting into cloud gaming. There's a reason why cloud gaming is growing. Its rate of growth is like 46%, which is high. So every year, it's great. Its rate growth every year is 46%. It's like boom, boom. It's like doubling itself. It's like bubbling over like some gremlins after Mogwai eats after midnight. It's just bubbling over, boom, 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 right? And there's a reason for that. That reason being that it's brought a lot of people back into gaming who couldn't get into gaming. I'll give you guys an example. There are times, like even before I got introduced to Stadia, I'd be like, look, man, I only got 45 minutes to game today. I really didn't have a chance to do anything. Work was crazy. I wanted to chop a video for the people, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I could take an hour or two. That's why I just go ad hoc with everything, man. I don't be sitting there making those stellar videos. I don't have time to sit there and create a 5-hour video. I just hit record or stream and I just go at it. Blah, blah, blah. One take Moss is what they call me, right? And I will be doing these 2-hour videos and cutting and editing crap and doing, you know, using Audacity and all this silly stuff, right? But then the main thing that I wanted to do was game. So I'd be like, look, before I go to bed, I got 45 minutes to game. And I go to boot up, let's say Destiny 2, and they got a new patch that took up 15, 20 minutes. My 45 minutes is shot. I mean, who really wants to game in 25 minutes? Some people do. But if they do, they want to get the full experience, right? So that's why it was important for me to do that poll that's out there right now. And if you haven't seen it, I'll try to drop a link later. But it's a poll asking you when it comes to cloud gaming, how do you engage in cloud gaming? And then also what I ask is in the comment section, if you could tell me what you engage with in cloud gaming. I'm getting a lot of great responses, but from that, what I'm discovering is that Stadia is kind of like a gateway drug for a lot of people. People started off with Stadia and now they're experiencing all the other platforms, and maybe they're resting their final nest egg with Stadia, or maybe GFN or Luna, whatever the case may be. But the thing that brought you into cloud gaming was Stadia. So that's a great thing to see. You know, it's a wonderful thing to see. And regardless of it's your main, if it's your favorite or whatever, I think the platform deserves a lot of kudos and a lot of appreciation just for that. It's Rich says, it's okay, bro. Everyone does it. It's been my gamer tag forever. Oh man, woo! I'm just getting over a headache. not from you, brother, but just in general. That's hard. That takes some serious concentration. But I appreciate you being here. Kessel Runner says, also with my lifestyle being a dad and working, I just don't have time to go game like I used to when I was in college or in grad school. Absolutely. So here's the thing. A lot of people think that gaming or cloud gaming doesn't have a solidified group. Like I hear often it's a solution looking for a problem, and that's not the case. All these companies are plugging billions and billions of dollars into this because they're looking for imaginary people to be consumers. We're testament to it. The 6 million people that have jumped on GFN already. We're testament to it that there are people that desire cloud gaming. And it's going to go from a 4 billion, which what I believe it is now, a 4 billion to an $8 billion market. That's not nothing to sneeze at. It's not as big as the $270 billion market that there is projected to be with gaming in 2027. But it's a nice lane to start from and springboard yourself from to get to that objective. And it's going to take some time. AI, machine learning building, getting the catalogs, you know what I'm saying? Like even GFN, even though they have 800 plus games, they don't have Square Enix signed ups, Activision, or they got Square. No, who is it? They don't have all the major publishers signed up. You know what I'm saying? And some people want to play those major games. They be like, look, this is so cost effective for me, but I can't play Call of Duty. And that goes along with Stadia too, and Luna. So we got a whiles to go before we get the relationships established so we can be a premier platform. But right now, we're not a premier platform. We have a lot of great things to offer, some a lot better than dedicated device gaming or the premier platforms. But to be a premier platform, meaning you're ready for prime time, meaning you're something that is alluring to the majority of people within said community, there are just those relationships and those titles that they got to obtain, and that performance that they got to obtain, because some have the titles, but they don't have the performance that they got to obtain before they get to primetime status. But you can springboard yourself from the $8 billion market up to the $270 billion market with ease, I feel. With that said, I want to say this. Before I get started in my bibble babble, because we got two great topics to cover, if you want to catch my attention, definitely hit that super chat button. If I missed something that you say, and you want MM2K to respond to it, hit that super chat button. That'll be a great way to catch my attention. Also, we got a lot of great content coming this week. We're working on a new show. That's all I'm going to say. We're working on a new show, and we're testing it out with our members. So if you want to be part of that, definitely join our member program. We've already, I don't have. So after this show, I forgot to release this to the public. So after this show, at 1 p.m., all of our members, I meant to release it yesterday, my bad. I was feeling so sick. You're going to see my first take, which is my first take on Saints Row, the third, and remastered. So that's going to drop today. Tomorrow, members will get the SSC after party. Thursday, you guys are going to get channel talk where we review what happened last week. And like I said, Friday, I believe we're going to do that. We're going to test this. We're going to pilot this new show. Okay. All right. With that said, let's get into the news. So first and foremost, Bethesda. Let's talk Bethesda, y'all. So as you all know, Bethesda is now officially part of Microsoft. And there's a big debate going on about who, let me make this, who's going to get what games now. That's the big debate. Who's going to get access to what games? Are games going to be solely exclusive to Microsoft, Xbox ecosystems? Are we going to still see Bethesda multiplats and all this stuff? So what I want to do is take you through a timeline of facts that we were given in accordance to what my thought process was at the time, and then we can discuss what's going on today. So first and foremost, after the news, I originally, but I didn't feel like looking for this tweet because I didn't have enough time before I started. When this news originally broke, prior to this tweet, these series of tweets that you see on the screen, my belief was that, yes, Bethesda might make some games exclusive, or what they might do is work with Microsoft or Xbox to create some exclusive titles, but all of its big hitters is Elder Scrolls and Wolfensteins and Fallouts, and even the new coming Starpoint, that those will all be multi-plat. Right, that was my original thought. And then As you can see here, I said I crunched the numbers. This is before I crunched the numbers. Now, this is what I do. I do data. Part of what I do is data analytics. So shame on me. That's me slapping my wrist. Shame on me for not crunching these numbers, because I thought of it as Microsoft would be foolish to pass up to 100 and some odd million PlayStations, the 100 and some odd million whatever, switches. Oh, excuse the pig, to make all this exclusive. But then I crunched the numbers. And when I crunched the numbers, I said, I want to officially change my stance for Microsoft won't keep all Bethesda games off of other plats too. They likely will, with caveats in between, video forthcoming. So my thoughts were, the vast majority of their games would go multi-plat. Would go exclusive. And you might have like Elder Scrolls Online, their online games, or their super huge titles that might be multi-plat. That was my thought. And I made a video on that. I made that video September 28th, 2020. Right. And I said, no cap, when we wrong, we call it out. And the reason why I crunched those numbers is I said, Microsoft is going to go all in on Game Pass. And Game Pass was a big reason why they bought Bethesda. Not the only reason, but a big reason why they bought Bethesda, to shore up their lineup of hardcore games so that stigma can be gone, that they don't have great day and date AAA content in Game Pass. That was the purpose of that purchase for in large part, not all the way, but in large part, that was the purpose. And I said, if they are confident, if they're going to go all in on Game Pass, and they're going to use the strength of like an Elder Scrolls or whatever to power Game Pass, they got to make it exclusive. And I crunched the numbers and I said, let's just say, if, for instance, if there were, if Microsoft knew that there were 11 million people on PlayStation that want to play Elder Scrolls, and if they made it exclusive, let's just say, if any more than 30% go over to Microsoft in order to play Elder Scrolls in Game Pass or on Xbox, if any more than 30% did that, that would give Microsoft more revenue than it would be for them to leave those, you know what I'm saying, to leave that 11 million over there. Meaning if they lost 70%, if 70% of those people said, you know what, I will not go to Microsoft. If they can convince 30% of those people to come to Game Pass in order to play it, not buy it individually, but come to Game Pass and play it, then they've won. How? Because Game Pass is hit after hit after, it's $15 a month. So if you do the math, $60 here one time, $15 a month, just for 1 year, they would make about $150 million more dollars. I think my calculations were around that figure. They would if they went all in on Game Pass and just said to hell with it. You got to come to, if you want to play Elder Scrolls, you got to come to Xbox in order to do it. And that's indicative of the vast majority of that 30% buying it via Game Pass, like subscribing to Game Pass. So if Bethesda games can even achieve a 30% retention rate from PlayStation owners over to Game Pass, not to just buy the games individually, but that's key to Game Pass, Microsoft still stands to make more money. Here's the problem though. They would equally, like, I think the figures came out to, and again, I'm doing this without all the numbers in front of me. I think they would have made 580 million and opposed to, and would have left 350 million on the table, something like that. But that's still money that they're leaving on the table. And does Microsoft want to leave money on the table? And I had figured, opinion-wise, that they would be willing to take that risk because it would strengthen Game Pass, which is their kit and caboodle. So that's why I dropped this video. But then, to my surprise, this came out. And a lot of you missed this. But that's why we do what we do. We're here to bridge the gap from the general gaming news over here to the cloud community, to where sometimes we may not catch a lot of this stuff. It's okay. This came out. Microsoft CFO says Microsoft wants future Bethesda games to be first or best on Xbox. All right. And I want to take you particularly to one paragraph that I think explains it all, if I can find it. 1 second. Let me see here. Okay. So the CFO says, so again, I'm not announcing pulling content from platforms one way or the other, Stewart continued, but I suspect you'll continue to see a shift towards a first or better or best approach on our platforms. Meaning, if you read the whole report or the original interview that this was based off of, the CFO, which is Tim Stewart, said, our strategy right now is not to take Bethesda games off of platforms for the most part. We're looking at a strategy where they'll play best for some reason on Game Pass. They'll either come first to Game Pass, you know what I'm saying? Or they'll play better via Game Pass. Like, those are the three avenues that we're going to go take our games with, which again took me back to the case-by-case basis that I was originally on before I crunched the numbers. So it sounded like that, at least off the bat, Microsoft is not interested, and this was only 4 months ago. Microsoft is not interested in going all in on Game Pass. That they're looking again for a better, best, or first approach. So then now you have what was released today by Phil Spencer, which I highlighted some major points in what was said by Phil Spencer and what was said by my homie Pete Hines of Bethesda. So here's what was said in the context from Phil Spencer on Xbox Wire. This is the next step in building an industry-leading first-party studios team, a commitment we have to our Xbox community. With the addition of the Bethesda creative teams, gamers should know that Xbox consoles, PCs, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games. Xbox consoles, PCs, and Game Pass will be the best. Not only the only place to experience new games not under obligations, but it will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games, including some new titles in the future that will be exclusive to Xbox and PC players. So let's dissect that first paragraph. Some people are taking that to mean that opposite of the games that got to come out on PlayStation already, the prior obligations, that's why they're using the word some. What they fail to realize is that if Xbox wanted to be explicit about this, right now, if that was their goal, to be explicit about that, and they wanted to channel that communication to you right now, they would have said so right now. Phil in the past has said, in talking about studios creating games like what do you call that? The Obsidian and Xcloud. He said, no, look, our approach is if you got games that are under contract, we're not going to dissolve those contracts. But future games, will be solely under the Xbox umbrella. And he quoted and noted that the teams in hearing that the games, being on other platforms made them happy. Now, why would it make them happy? They're getting compensated regardless because they're under Microsoft's umbrella. Why would that? Because they want to see as many people experience their games as possible. And right now, Xbox just doesn't have the lion's share of gamers on consoles right now. They just don't. Is Game Pass the most popular subscription service? Likely it is. They're the ones that keep touting out numbers. Nobody else is. Except for PlayStation Now. We know they got higher numbers than PlayStation Now. Nobody else is touting out Ubisoft Plus. Nobody else is touting out numbers besides Microsoft. So they're likely in head. But in a field of 1.6 billion potential gamers, you have only 18 million subscribers. That's less than 2%. So these people that are making games, if they're first to Game Pass games or only Xbox games, that means that the lion's share of gamers won't experience them unless they go to PC. But still, you have the lion's share of console gamers. Well, I won't say unless they go to Steam. Xbox games do well on Steam. But the lion's share of console gamers are not going to experience your games as the numbers stand right now. So if that's a concern of Obsidian, what do you think the concern of Bethesda is? Bethesda, they're gamers at heart. They want people to play their games. There are 1.3 million or 130 million PlayStation 4s out there. PlayStation 5s are already outpacing the Xbox Series consoles, along with the Switch. So that's some food for thought from that paragraph, including some new titles in the future that will be exclusive to Xbox and PC players. Now, what could that mean? That could mean that, like I originally said, and how a lot of us originally surmised, that Xbox and Bethesda is going to work on some original IP. They probably already started on it, and we just haven't heard of it yet. Before this deal even went down, they've probably already started on it. Right? So if Xbox already started on some original IP with Bethesda, regardless of this deal, would that not satisfy the some new titles? You know what I'm saying? If they were to keep everything else multi-plat. So my point in bringing this out is nothing in here nullifies this. Nothing that's it. This is where we gotta, again, with my Fortune 500 experience, someone who has been tasked that when we would get calls from news publications and our PR would sit with us and be like, okay, we got a news publication that's calling because they're upset at something that transpired with your call center, MM2K. You got to break it down to us and let us know what actually happened, And we would go through that process with PR and legal, and they would go back to said news company. And, we would follow up later and say how that went. And they would break it down to us and be like, okay, great. Glad we could be of service and glad we can get that resolved. As someone who has done that for a living for over 20 years, I'm trying to help you guys and gals understand how to parse this executive babble that they try to filter down to you. It's a wordsmith game. It's a wordplay game. So what you have to do is you have to look at the last critical point of entry as far as the information that was given, and you got to contrast it to what you were told today. If you bump this first paragraph up against what was said by the CFO 4 months ago, there's nothing new said except for some new titles in the future. That's it. There's nothing else new to derive from this except for some new titles in the future that will be exclusive to. What does that mean? If everything else matches what he said then off of what you got today, you can't derive nothing new. Feasibly, you can't. Okay? Secondly, as we've shared previously, it's vitally important that Bethesda continues to make games the way it always has. We look forward to empowering Bethesda's creative teams to reach even more players around the world, helping make future Bethesda titles the biggest and most popular games in their history. Okay. That right there, nothing in that paragraph, if you look at the original interview, nothing in that paragraph, when contrasted against what the CFO said, is anything new. I want to show you guys and gals one more thing. This is from Pete Hines today. He says, first, let me say that we're not making any landmark announcements or changes right now. As we've all shared, the expectation is that Bethesda Softworks and our studios will continue as we have in the past, just with more support and resources than we've had before. And it was starting to go off into some spill about Game Pass. It doesn't give you a clear shot, definitive view that Game Pass is the only thing that they're going to focus on as far as platforms are concerned, and PC and Xbox. The expectation is that Bethesda Softworks and our studios will continue as we have in the past. So what does that mean for Stadia? Well, before we get to Stadia, so again, here's what I derive from all this. Because I'm hearing some rumblings that there might be something later in the week after tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but after tomorrow. Anytime after tomorrow, we could hear something maybe of an exclusive game coming. We may get more definitive information of what those exclusive titles are. Like it could be Starpoint. Xbox could be saying, look, we tried to push the envelope and force people off of Xbox Live onto Game Pass by raising the price of Xbox Live, and that didn't work. So let's try it a different way. Let's see if we can get people on the Game Pass by announcing that Starpoint some way, somehow is going to be exclusive to Xbox and Game Pass, maybe for the first 6 months. Let's see how that works. Maybe indefinitely. Let's see if that works. And if that's successful and increasing our access to Game Pass, then yeah, we'll turn on the faucet and do more by more by more. But I don't think that you're in a. I do not believe that you're in a. You're in a situation where they've definitively made their mind up. No. I think they were being transparent when they said a case-by-case basis. They may try with something, or there may be a game or two that's an IP that's being developed solely for Xbox that was before this deal. Who knows? But to derive anything other than what was said by the CFO, I feel is too premature right now. We gotta look at, we gotta wait and see until what happens this week in the future. So we'll see. What does this mean for Stadia? I don't know. I don't know. Again, we've been thrown a lot of word salad that's ambiguous in nature for a purpose. And it's thrown out there for y'all to get excited. And, oh, yeah, Bethesda's doing this. Or, oh, no, they're definitely not. It's excited for y'all to do. It's intended for y'all to do that because it's creating buzz over their product. But they haven't said anything to you new except that there's going to be some new Xbox games coming from Bethesda that are exclusive. Whether they make ESO exclusive or these are new IP. If these are new IP, who is shocked about that? That could mean new IPs. So this surprises and it informs nobody of nothing. So here's what I suggest for everybody to do. I suggest, hold on, let's see what they do. Wait until we get further notification, and then we take it from there. It's too ambiguous right now in nature to determine what that means for anybody, even including Stadia. Because I'll say this, even in the conversation that they had on the Major Nelson show with Larry Holmes, when Pete Hines and Todd Howard were there with Phil Spencer, they name dropped Stadia. Stadia subsequently name dropped them during DICE of 2020. So they've been playing a little nice. You haven't heard Phil come out there and talk his trash on Stadia like he used to. He's taking advantage of cloud, announcing that there's going to be cloud-specific games without going into anything specific, as he should. But they've been playing nice so far. So who knows? We don't know what it means, but what I suggest is let's just hold on. Let's see what happens later on this week. But to me, there's not enough information out there to go one way or the other. All right, let's get some of the things that you guys are saying up here. Fredo says, if Blizzard or Xbox going on that way, someone will emerge. Charles Arrest says ESO is the optional subscription for Elder Scrolls Online, which gets you unlimited crafting bags and other games and stuff. Okay. Yep, ESO Plus is. So it's kind of like the Fallout thing where they kind of do the same thing. Yep. All right. We got enough time. Let's talk about. Oh, let me see. What else I got here? I've already got that up there. What is that up there? Oh, and last but not least, to even submit my point about you not getting a lot of good information, even Paris Lilly. Now, you guys know that, Paris Lilly has been on the opposite side of great inspiring news on this platform. But even he, who is a staunch Xbox supporter now, what do y'all call him? Part of the yellow chair gang. That's what y'all call him. He says, I take this statement best place to experience that some Bethesda games will continue to show up on PlayStation and Nintendo. Even he's like, look, man, we don't. And he said, in my opinion, it's a good thing for gamers. Still hope Xbox and Bethesda further clarifies. Even he is saying that, look, man, we need some more information on this. Okay. All right. With that said, that's it for all that stuff. I want to talk about something here, y'all. Let me do this. I don't want to get to this tweet just yet. Not just yet. No, Fredo, you good, brother. You good. I got what you were saying. All right, so I want to talk about The homeboy. Speaking of Paris Lilly, it's funny how things work out because Paris Lilly and the gentleman that I'm about to speak about, they're good friends. I'm Tony Polanco. Okay, so Tony Polanco, he is a blogger and a writer. That's what I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him a blogger and a writer for various publications. He's also, does podcasts and stuff like that, and he's very he's what I like to call a flamethrower, meaning, he's very opinionated and he speaks matter of fact on things that are solely his opinion. And he purposely says things in that fashion, or he uses conjecture. That's the definition of conjecture. He uses a lot of polarizing conjecture on purpose to get a rise out of people. He doesn't like to be challenged. He's one of those people that just believes what I say goes, and if you don't like it, who cares? I'm blocking access to you, and then he'll go block you on Twitter and talk about you behind the scenes. That's the type of person that Tony is. I don't know him personally, but it's from a news or a social media perspective, that's what he does. Okay. Now, Tony wrote an article for Laptop Magazine where he gives the best streaming platforms out there. And he brings up Stadia. Oh no. He doesn't include Stadia in the list, but he purposely calls out Stadia and says, we don't include Stadia on the list because, simply put, Stadia is the worst of these cloud platforms. And he brings up Shadow, Luna, he brings up all the other ones except for Stadia. So that clearly is, again, conjecture, opinion, staunch opinion, just flame throwing, just for the sake of causing trouble. I want to tell you my history with Tony and how I discovered who this guy is a long time ago, and how I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't consider him a journalist. He's a writer. He writes. And he's a personality, but I don't consider him a journalist. I don't. Nothing that he said has ever been of any journalistic value to me as a consumer or anything like that. He just, again, he throws in a lot. He don't research stuff thoroughly. He's just known to have a lot of conjecture, and he's known to rah, and cheerlead for the things that he likes. But let me tell you my history with Tony. So, Broadband Bullies, crew that I'm affiliated with, at the helm, we have Next Gen 720. That's my mentor. He's the person that brought me into this thing, and really the only reason why y'all even know who I am is because of Next Gen 720. We call him Z. Z for Zaire for short. So Z was the head of all of the Xbox news gathering. He started all this on YouTube. So this was Z. Your Diller Gaming, your Colt Eastwoods, all of them were products of Next Gen 720. Diller Gaming and Colt Eastwood used to be on a weekly show that he would do called Xbox Beastfire. Tim Dog, that you guys all know and love. And I love my brother Tim Dog. My brother Tim Dog, he needs his old man medication, just like MM2K, but no. And I know a lot of people feel a certain way about Tim Dog. They're like, oh, he's not but an Xbox fanboy. No, Tim Dog is one of the nicest people, one of the most pure-hearted people that you'll ever meet. He just loves Xbox tremendously, and he'll do and say a lot of crazy, goofy-ish for the sake of Xbox. But that's my brother. I love Tim to death. And Tim is a product of Z. Crap Gamer is a product of Z. Mooch, it used to be Crap Gamer Mooch, Tim Dog, a guy by the name of Showstopper, and Tim Dog, Next Gen 720. They're the original founders, I believe, of BGST. There's somebody else that I'm leaving out too. I can't remember what the guy's name is, and I'm sorry. So BGST was an Xbox-centric, big gamer, small talk is what it was short for. They were Xbox-centric. It was an Xbox-centric podcast. They started this Xbox stuff. All right. Again, without Z, there is no Diller Gaming. There is no Coast Eastwood. There is no Crap Gamer. There is no Mooch. There is no platform for them to spring from if it isn't for Next Gen 720 and him showing them through the ranks, right? D-Batch, pretty much everybody that you know is an extension of the Next Gen 720 branch, right? So, with all that said, Z has BGST, and one of the things that was a BGST hot topic was the Green Discs Matter movement. For those of you that don't know what that is, Titanfall 2. Titanfall 1 was an Xbox One exclusive. Didn't do too hot, even though a lot of people, it was critically appraised as a good game. Didn't do too hot. Titanfall 2 comes out and it's multi-plat, right? So a lot of the BGST members or panel felt like that Respawn Games was going out of their way to give so much praise to PlayStation and the fact that the game was coming on PlayStation and not on Xbox. They felt like that the PlayStation advertisement was really heavy at the tooth. So they came out with this Green Discs Matter campaign, and Tony Polanco there's no other way to put it. Tony Polanco is a staunch PlayStation fanboy. So he's the antithesis. He is the pure antithesis of what BGST is. So Tony Polanco goes on and rants on about BGST. It then spreads to Gamertag Radio. He's friends with them. They say negative stuff about BGST. And it became this big mess that everybody's calling each other out or whatever. And they go after Tony something hard, And Tony, I guess he blocks them or whatever the case may be, whatever, right? But they get on him something hard for his rhetoric and for his unvetted wannabe journalism, but it is what it is. So you fast forward a few years later, and MM2K's in the picture. But again, I'm just a small fry in all this. I'm part of the Broadband Bullies. By then, BGST has dissolved. Broadband Bullies is just a gaming network that's about all platforms. We represent all platforms. We debate and we talk about all platforms and all other stuff. Next Gen 720 was starting to fall away from Xbox because he wasn't liking the direction they were going into. I was still like a big Xbox fan. But I had my doubts about Phil Spencer. So I come across on social media a conversation that Tony Polanco was having with Paris Lilly. Paris Lilly at the time says, well, he's been dogging Xbox the whole time. I remember getting into a conversation with him in 2018 where he says Xbox deserves all of the biased negative press because of what they did in 2013. So I said, hold on, despite everything they've done since 2013, they still deserve, and the fact that they got a new head, a new person in charge, they still deserve to be attacked about something that happened in 2013 that they completely went away from. I called him out on it, right? And me and him would go back and forth on certain things. And again, because at the end of the day, Paris is thin-skinned, so I wouldn't know when to back off. I would just like, okay, whatever, and just leave it alone, right? So then I come across this conversation with him and Tony Polanco. And Paris said, you know what? I'm going to go get an Xbox Series X. Not an Xbox Series. Xbox One X. This is before he becomes part of what y'all call the Yellow Chair Gang and all that other stuff. This is before he becomes pro Xbox all of a sudden. And he goes get him an Xbox One X. And he starts railing off about the UI. He says, "Oh, the UI is crap. I'm going to take this back because the UI is crap." So Tony chimes in like, "Yeah, I told you. Because of that UI, it ain't even worth being bought." So I'm like, hold on. I chime in and I'm like, "Look, guys, this is the epitome of ridiculousness. Are you telling me that the Xbox UI is so bad it requires you not to pick it up? It's that bad? Like, stop it." You know what I'm saying? Paris didn't respond because Paris is familiar how I get. But Tony blocked me. And then he went to his thread and said, "Oh, yeah, I just blocked a BGST member because they were fanboy for Xbox," all this, because he didn't do his research. He must have saw that I was a broadband bully, which broadband bully had nothing to do with BGST. BGST was solely an Xbox fanboy, gathering. And we weren't. We had Xbox fanboys in there, but we had people that weren't so much. It was a massive collection of people that would discuss and debate things that were going on with gaming. So he blocked me then. Fast forward to, I think, last year or 2019. Shout out to my good brother Porter Rock. If y'all don't know who Porter Rock is one of the ultimate duo of PlayStation trolls, where he talks about Xbox 24/7. Him and J Dub. Okay, they're the PlayStation troll extraordinaires, right? So Death Stranding, when it released, it's getting hammered in the press. Hammered. Because it's getting hammered in the press, and Tony Polanco is a big time PlayStation fan. He sits there and he makes excuse pretty much for anything PlayStation. He comes out and he says, "Look, I know a lot of people are saying this game ain't fun, but that's okay. Because a great game, not a decent game, but a great game doesn't have to be fun." So my brother, hold on, let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna pull it up for y'all. So my brother, Porter Rock, again, staunch. Hey, look, he'll tell you off the bat. He's like, "Look, I'm a big time PlayStation fanboy." Let me see if I still got it. What? Let me see. Uh-oh. All right, I can't show it to you guys right now. But yeah, he came in and said, "Look, I'm not a PlayStation." He said, "I'm a PlayStation fanboy. But Tony, you're kidding me. If what you're saying is that Xbox game, or that a great game doesn't have to be fun." And he breaks it down to him why. And I don't think, and Tony can't even respond. He can't block him, like what his knee-jerk reaction, because if he blocks Porter Rock, the PlayStation Nation will decimate him. So he doesn't respond. And that, my friends, is Tony Polanco in a nutshell. Tony, look, it's not about trying to force what people express in their opinions. Tony can have whatever opinion that he wants to. But as a young community, we got to understand, and John Scar helped us understand this, that just because you contribute articles doesn't necessarily make you a journalist or a journalist that operates with integrity. If you look at what John Scar does with Best Buy, when he walks in the door, his boss tells him, he told y'all in the interview, his boss tells him, "Look, we are not doing this for clicks. We are doing this to inform people that are going to purchase said products that are available at our stores. We're here to act with the most integrity and to inform them." And you get that from the Best Buy blog and from people like John Scar, part of the Best Buy blog, because there's no incentive for them necessarily to clickbait you. Best Buy has opted that to go along with the products and services that they have, that they're going to integrate a blog group. So the blog group will remain as long as people are watching the blog, but as long as the products and services are being, obtained. So they can operate under full integrity. Where if you have said news publication, they have no underlying product to cushion them. So their job is to just get you to click so they get ad revenue. And they use articles as a catalyst for that. It's kind of like the position that we're in as consumers when we buy products from a Fortune 500 company. You do understand that under that scenario, we are not the most important thing in the Fortune 500 company's mind. The biggest thing in the Fortune, I'm telling you from experience, as someone that has sat in those boardrooms, listening to meetings, going over stock price, the biggest thing is not you. The biggest get is the market and investors. And as long as investors feel like that you got a good hold on your consumer base, then they'll put in more money. So number one at the top of the list is not the consumer. It's the investor. All you got to do is make the investor feel that you got a good enough stranglehold on your consumer base and that is growing in order to retain them. So some may hear that and say, well, then it is about the consumer. No. All you got to do is show numbers that appease them. It don't necessarily affect the quality of product. Have you ever noticed that a company, when it first emerges, they're so great, but over time, as they get bigger and they produce more goods, the quality of said product falls off? There's a reason for that. Because once they got a stranglehold of the market after appeasing you, they've convinced investors. Now, once they've hit boom in the investor world, they got you. They got you already, and they got them. And that's how it works in the market, y'all. So because of that, we got to be a little bit more wiser and understanding that when it comes to these journalists, their operators Miranda or modus operandi is not to give you articles, vetted articles full of integrity and full of research and transparency. They're here to give you salacious conjecture, because the salacious conjecture is what's going to make you click on said article. So you got, and I'm not saying all of them are guilty of this, but too many are. So you got to be very careful. Just because you see someone writing for a major publication, the name of the game for most of these major publications right now is clicks. You remember, you've been seeing publication after publication dropping off the face of the earth. Why? Because they can't, because their business model was built on clicks and they can't maintain them. But that doesn't mean that because they haven't drafted a better business model that you have to suffer. You just have to pay better attention to where you get your information cascaded from. And once you do that, you'll understand who you have to ignore. Now I get it. We want to go out here and we want to debate stuff that Tony Polanco has said, and that's great. But what you don't want to do, if you want to put truth to light, do not retweet his articles. When you retweet his articles, Tony is a flamethrower. He knows what he's doing. He wants y'all to get angry and circulate his articles so it can get what? More clicks. All we got to do is just call him out without pointing to the article. And in one way, I did that earlier today. I said, people say Stadia is the least dependable cloud platform yet. One company just filed for bankruptcy. Another laid off more devs, and the head of operations left like a thief in the night. Another has a core business model that analysts have said is unsustainable. You can't make this issue up. Period. And I think we'll close out on that. All right. So with that said, shout out to y'all. So did you see the Gizmodo Cloud gaming article? Just like Xbox and Bethesda news, we need to see about Stadia. I truly believe that if Stadia goes its name only, continue the next comment. I think that if that happens, everything would just come over here to YouTube. Yeah. I think what you may be seeing the setup of is Stadia changing its brand to YouTube gaming, which, as long as the underlying product that powers Stadia is now powering the games that I want to play on the go the same way that I am, y'all can call it turkey necks and giblet juice. I don't care what y'all call it. It's not dead in my book. A rebranding doesn't make anything dead. And we know Google likes to rebrand. And secondly, I'm still getting the platform that I want, which is a platform that can provide me what I want, particularly the AAA blockbuster games that I want to play with the convenience of the tech. So great point, Charles. Dominicano, what's up, brother? Good to see you as always. Be ready. I'm about to drop that my first look. And I thank y'all so much, man. He's a Freddie Fredos is the guy you're talking about. I wouldn't call him that. He knows what he's doing, Freddie. He knows what he's doing. That's why I'm not putting none of his stuff out here, because I'm not going to help his cause. He knows what he's doing. He purposely put that out there so y'all can click on it, get upset, and circulate it. Don't do it. Don't even do it. It's just aiding his cause. And with that said, I want to thank you all for joining me today. I got to go pick up my wife. It's already 10 after. But thank y'all so much. I love y'all. Thank y'all for the support. And we will be rocking SSC tomorrow. And I got a lot of content I'm going to release today. So stay tuned for that. Also, stay tuned to my MM2K videos channel, because we got another demo coming. And with that said, I appreciate all of y'all. Mortal Black. You have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.